Right, so in today's video we're going to be giving this lawn and also the grass verge their last feeds of the year, and what's probably most likely going to be the last cuts of the year too. But before we get into that, let's give you a bit of a look as to how both of these lawns are looking now that it is, well, time for recording the 30th of November, but basically December tomorrow. So as you can see, this lawn out at the front isn't looking too bad at all. What I have noticed is the pattern compared with last year is very similar in terms of this far side here. I mean, just the paper and the lassie band. But you can see how the grass is really starting to thin out on this side, whereas if we come over to this side, you can just see how much sort of healthier the sward is on this side. And the main reason behind that is the fact that the side on this side of the bush here sees very little sun, and it almost looks similar to what, like, this is like a miniature version as to what my back lawn looked like sort of this time last year, where it gets no sun at all and the sward just begins to thin a lot. And that can be the problem with any grass variety, but with this being predominantly ryegrass, you can see it dies back, and this patch will definitely have to be overseeded come the spring, which isn't too bad of a problem. Whereas you can see this part now, which sits mostly in the sun, got a really nice dense sward. Now for the grass verge, the last time you'll have seen it was the last time I actually got on it, because I gave this a feed last in the middle of October, I think it was. Well, that's when I posted the video anyway, but the actual film of that was probably about a week before, so you're talking sort of like early mid October time, and it's not had a single cut since. It's not had a single feed since. I think we only put the autumn winter mix on. I can't remember if we put the actual iron down as well, but you can just see, especially compared to where this space is being chopped on this far side, the actual colour of it, it shows you if you feed your lawn, if you take care of your lawn throughout the year. You know, I'm not proclaiming this to be the greatest lawn in the world, and you guys watching this video will be the first to tell me that it's definitely not the greatest lawn in the world, but it's half decent for what it is. Bear in mind, it's only a grass verge, and yeah, there's a bit of weed grass in there, and there's the odd little weed. Well, actually there's very few weeds in it, to be quite honest with you, but there's the odd one knocking about. It's I think for the back end of November, pretty much December, tomorrow, it's looking pretty decent. So we start off, let's get the mower, let's give these lawns a cut, and let's see how much comes off them. Now, I'm sure this is a state that people wouldn't want their garages in going into the winter. I guess this is a job that I can kind of do over the next few months. I certainly have time with not having to cut the grass. But you can see, this is the web push mower that I've been using to actually cut all the lawns now for the past 2 to 3 months, and it's done an absolute job of me. And I probably should use the leaf blower to clean it, but come on, this is the Novice Gardener channel. This ain't the professional lawn care channels that are out there. I've got the Hater, we've got the Alex, we have the Bosch over here, the trusty Bosch I use on the grass verge. We have this little cool cat. If anyone wants a robot lawnmower, get in touch, let me know. And I also still have the Ferex as well. Anyone who's been subscribed to this channel for a while will certainly know about the Ferex, because it was one of the, well, actually, in fact, it was the first mower I bought that had a rear roller on the back. It was a little bit too big for the space that I had, and the fact that it's corded was a bit of a nightmare, but it was the first kind of proper lawnmower, I guess you'd say, that I picked up. Proper one, after the Argos £30 one anyway. But I think we're going to stick with using the web today on the front lawn, and let's get on the grass verge with the old trusty Bosch rotary mower. So the last cut on this space was whenever the last video was on this lawn, which was I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So it will be interesting to see how much does come off, because it's not being fed a massive amount this year. And it's been ridiculously cold recently too. We have some warmer days like today, I think it's 13 degrees, so this coat's certainly going to be getting a bit warm in the next 20 minutes or so. But we do have some other colder temperatures coming too. And that kind of gets me on to thinking of temperatures during like the autumn and the winter. The grass still goes through periods where it will grow. So even though I'm saying today that this is the last kind of cut I'm going to be giving it for the year, if you have quite a warm spell before Christmas, it's likely that I will get on and just nick the tops off the plants as well. It's not like growing grass from seed where you need like a specific temperature like 7 degrees or 10 degrees to get that seed germinating. the established grass will grow as long as like we have the odd few days here and there where the temperatures are fairly decent. There we go, not a lot off the lawn really, the odd little leaf here and there, just that top growth that we've got, but I'll be honest with you, I'm just really happy with the way this sward is looking at the moment. Not the most defined stripes in the world, but not too bad. I was going to trim the edges, but to be honest, they've not really grown a lot at all. Like I've already said, not perfect, but by far the worst lawn in the world. We've got a nice, tightly packed together sward, not too thick, not too thin, a bit of weed grass, but we're all alive and well, aren't we? Right, so I've got it on setting 5.5 on the drop spreader. I'm going to give it 2 passes across the space, and that should be plenty for this lawn this autumn, or technically going into this winter. It's always best to use a rotary spreader when putting fertiliser down onto a lawn. Obviously can't really do that at the front because I'd lose most of the fertiliser to the road, but I can certainly do it on this grass verge. So that's it then, both of the lawns have been cut. Both of the lawns have been fed, and now it's just up to nature to do its thing. This fertiliser does need to be watered in, but we've got loads of rain coming this evening and tomorrow, so that's going to be plenty enough to actually get all of this product nicely dissolved, getting the fertiliser to do its thing. And if anyone is curious, it's the Grass People's Autumn Winter Quick Release Fertiliser. They sent us some earlier on in the year. It's the stuff I used the other month, and the grass turned out fairly decent with it as well, so yeah, fingers crossed it does a decent job. The only other product I'm probably going to be putting on between now and the next lawn care season in kind of March time is probably iron sulphate, because that's the stuff that's going to prevent disease in your lawn. It does give you a nice green up if you do have a little bit of yellowing throughout the winter. So there we go, that's pretty much it for 2024 for lawn care on this channel. I will be uploading a couple more videos before the end of the year. I'll be doing one in the back garden, giving you a bit of an update as to how both of those lawns are looking. If you are fairly new to the channel, you might not know, but we have done a project in the back where we've gone with a different species of grass. We've done a few things based on some advice from experts to see if it gets a lawn to grow in a pretty challenging space. This lawn out the front has almost the perfect conditions. It sits in the sun for quite a lot of the day. There's a field down at the bottom which the wind whips up from and actually helps to dry out the sward, so we get very little disease in this space. It grows fairly well throughout the year, whereas the space in the back doesn't really do too well. And I'll probably post a video in the next couple of weeks or so as well, just to update you as to how these lawns are looking. We're not just feeding them for the sake of it, we're trying to feed the soils, we're trying to improve the root development of the plants and keep these plants really strong throughout the winter. So I'll be updating you on those as well. And if you have been following along with these videos this year or through previous years, nice one for doing so. There's been some really good comments in the videos this year with people talking about how the videos have been useful, or with people giving me advice, and that's been stuff that I've carried through into future videos, and I'll absolutely be continuing to do so in 2025. I've got some quite exciting ideas for this Novice Gardener channel in 2025, so if you want to stick around and check out any of those future projects, future videos, any lawn care stuff, which will always be ongoing, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, like the video if you enjoyed it or if you found it useful, and yeah, as always, finally, thanks for watching.